YouTube, what is up with y'all today? This is Neil Goodfella Neil coming through. I tried to pick a top 5, but it ended up looking like a top 7. So this is my top 7 sneakers for the Honey House in 2019. So with this one, I didn't try to go off what's, just cause something just came out and something that's new. Now, when people do these top 10s for this and that, blah, 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 I think, or they top 5s or top 7s or whatever number, they need to specify the criteria of what they're going through. Now, if it's just a general top 10 list for maybe like back to school or a certain season or whatever, anything goes. You can pick anything from that. But with this one, I picked the top 7 for the Honey House, top 7 sneakers for the Honey House because, yeah, you're going to have to actually do a bit of running, maybe a bit of light jogging to catch up with whoever you came with, or run from whoever you got to run from. So I had that stuff in mind while picking these sneakers out. Now, this is just strictly in my collection. Now, if we just do it on a general sneakers just completely, I could probably at least have almost up to 15 to 20 more sneakers or whatever. But I like to show you guys the sneakers that I have, and I can explain it, hold it in hand, or whatever. So this is my top 7. Again, this is my top 7 sneakers for the Honey House in 2019. So now this is for, you're going to be doing light running, tracking, what they call like cross training or whatever, where you look like you like jogging or something like that. So like, you might fake, go this way, go that way, or whatever, if you in a Honey House, besides general walking like this, you know what I mean, like coasting, that's more so like a lifestyle sneaker. Wouldn't be too bad for that. But we just gonna say if you going to one that's gonna scare the out of you, you know what I mean. So you're gonna have to, your footwear gonna have to be correct. Now I will say before I do hop into these kicks, now some of them are based outside, or they have outside paths or whatever, depending on your state, city, or whatever. Like here in Ohio, we got the 7 floors of hell. So most of the places, most of those houses are actual houses on the inside. One of them is outside, like in the dirt, in the mud. So you can wear boots. I would suggest wearing boots if you can, or a low top boot if you're about to go outside and it's like muddy or something like that, or whatever. Because most of the time it is, in most cases. Sometimes it's not. Like if you go into a hunted school, or and they real big on that hunted stuff here, because Ohio halfway hunted anyway. But anyway, that's another story. So yeah, and obviously, use your Jason Mark or your Rejuvenator or whatever. If you tell my sneaker guys out there, I want to clean it up. Most people know how to clean a sneaker nowadays, so it is what it is. But these are my top 7. So my first one being actually, and it's not, I guess it is in a particular kind of order in a way, but whatever you can get your hands on. This one being number 7. Now, you probably might see most people in these. Most regular people are going to be wearing something like this. And there's nothing wrong with this, really. Now, I wouldn't be on my feet with this for like crazy long times. I used to push carts and chucks, and I used to have a back pain and leg pain and all that stuff, man. So this is not a long-term sneaker. But for that night of Haunted House and all that stuff, these will be okay. Not the best to me, mostly because this is like a whole, it's not even the fact that this is canvas, but the fact that most of the time the insole wasn't that great. Now these are a little bit better, or in recent years they've been a little bit better. This just for anybody that's like, oh yeah, I got my chucks from like 09 or whatever, or 07 or 08. They came out, I think they did something to the inner sole. Like they made the new ones more chunky so you can actually wear them for longer. The ones I had in 07 that actually had me having leg pains for wearing these for a long time, it's basically because it didn't have any like arch support or anything, and or any kind of real support. So literally it was like walking on a ground or like a waffle and stuff. So and highly wouldn't wear these in the winter. The leather ones are dope though. You need to go check those out. But yeah, so the Converse Chuck Taylor joint is my number 7 for the Haunted House. Reason being, my criteria for is for cross you know, faking it, pump faking, jugging, light jogs, okay. It's a light sneaker, supplying if you get the right size or whatever. And the canvas is definitely light work, so it won't be nothing heavy on the ankle. I wouldn't wear any kind of like basketball sneakers there. I mean, it's a free country, you can, but as far as like being quick and on your feet, and if you actually trying to get away, you know, you don't want to wear nothing that's like too much high on your ankle. If it's not like light like this, like a canvas or something, or, you know, I wouldn't wear nothing too heavy if I gotta run or fake someone out or back and forth or something like that. So number 6 is the Vance joint. Now this just happened to be the collab joint with the Peanuts, Charlie Brown joint. This is my number 6. The comfort on here is pretty good. And this is not number 6 like in the bad way, like, oh man, this is at the bottom of the list. But no, this is my number 6 because the comfort in here is great. You can stand for a long time. I know those lines be long as hell if you don't got a pass or something like that. So run with these. You can actually run in these too. Most people have these already. If you already have these already, wear these. Wear the Vans Joints. I forgot the name of it. They call it these. It's a particular name, but the Vans Classic or whatever. But yeah, comfort is crazy. A lot of the people that's making canvas sneakers are imitating this. This is like the Mercedes-Benz of the canvas sneaker because the comfort is there, the quality is there at times, depending on which one you get. But they do last for the long haul. You know, this is a sneaker that you can just keep beating and they fairly inexpensive compared to regular sneakers. So next sneaker up, oh, and also too, this is good for also crossing too. The grip on them, the traction, you know, it's okay for what you're gonna need it for. So, you know, as long as you know, I don't think you're gonna be doing like any like basketball moves particularly or any crossovers, you know. So you good to go with that. Next up, we got the Skate High Van. You know, this one kind of falls along the lines of the previous one, basically the same thing. The thing with this one though, you do have an upper along the ankle. Depends on if you need that upper support of the ankle. Now obviously this is the collab version with the Nintendo from a few years ago, but obviously anyone would do, and most of them are made like this anyway, with the light canvas on here. Now this one does has like a leather inside on the inner sock liner, but these, like this is definitely a good candidate. Get a nice high top, it fits comfortably, and you do have that nice lace tie down. I like my sneakers tight on me when I do get ready to run and all that stuff. So next one up is that was number 5. My bad, y'all. That was number 5, the Vans Skate High. Number 4 is the Nike Air Presto. Now I know Nike came out with all these various brand, you know, various hybrids and all that stuff. Listen, I'm gonna just say what my boy Anthony say. Your mileage may vary. You know, the Nike Air Presto might be, you know, with the sock liner, that might do you some good. But just the Presto in general, I got right here. This is my only Presto too. The comfort on here is pretty decent. It's nice for active movements. You got the traction and everything. This one is a little bit more pricey compared to the Vans and the Converse. You know, Converse you can find for 50 or 60 bucks. Same thing with the Vans, depending on if you got a deal or whatever. But regular retail usually go for $65 to $70 just for the regular colors. This is just a regular color as well. Now with these, you know, obviously some of these go on sale depending on the color. If it don't really matter to you, then just pick that up. But if you want a particular color, you know, it is what it is. You know, just look for the deal. These, as far as like price, don't too much go. You shouldn't really too much have a problem getting these. I would say maybe I wouldn't pay over $100 for this. Like, this is not the sneaker to really, you know, like 120 and all that stuff. Like, this is probably like a low end 60. 50 is definitely a deal. If you get it less than 50, that's really a steal. But, you know, 60, 70, 80 bucks, 90 sometimes for this. But this is like early 2000s technology. So this is not going to be too bad when, as far as like running. If you're worried about creases or anything, you don't have to too much worry about that. You do have a nylon kind of like sock or on this particular one, Presto, you got a mesh for breathability, so you know you can keep, you know, it keeps your foot cool at night. You know, obviously all that heat gonna pick up. Now that's one of the drawbacks when you do pick something up like this, or a little bit more older sneakers like the Vans as well. You know, the heat will pick up, but you know, if you feel like you're running for your life, you probably won't think about that. But in the long term, for people that want a little bit more room or more low cut, that's one of the things I do like about this. A little, you know, got the low cut, but I do most importantly like the flexibility in this when it comes to running. Would I relay running this? I don't know, probably not. I don't relay run anyway, but if I had to choose, I would run in this before I run in the Vans. So that's why this is higher on my list. So this is number 4. This is the Nike Air Presto. They got different variations, try them on, all that stuff, man. Number 3 is this should be my number 3. No, this is my number 3. My number 3 is the Nike Air Footscape. Now, not too many people might find this because this sneaker came out a few years ago, and one of the reasons why I like it, and I feel like it'll be perfect, not only is the colors kind of like going with it for the Halloween stuff, but this right here, this can easily bend. You got more of a mesh kind of like material, so this is pretty good. You throughout this whole list, you notice like I don't have any like leather sneakers that like crease or bend. Number one, the leather is just heavier, a little bit heavier overall. Even if you do get like a leather Van, which wouldn't be like a deal breaker, but that would be a little bit more heavier than the canvas version. So I do try to keep the materials light if I'm talking about or pursuing any kind of like active wear. So yep, so this is number 3. This is the Nike Air Footscape, and yeah. And again, you know, the dirt may vary. You might be on the inside, you might be on the outside, but this will do you some good. You also got some traction pods at the bottom. You also got better traction on the Presto too, compared to the Vans and the Converse. Obviously, with those being older sneakers, the traction won't be the best, but as we go up, the traction starts picking up on the list. You know, depends. Number 2 is the Nike Element 55 React. Now, this is my only React sneaker. I need to get some more though, to be honest with you. Like the Element 87 can work. Hell, maybe even that React Racer one that came out last year or something like that. Like most of the React sneakers is not bad to do a like jog in or walk in or anything like that. So this will be pretty decent for the Haunted House. Number 1, you do have you do have some breathability in it, but I think the Presto has more breathability, and the next sneaker after this, my number 1, actually has way more breathability. But you also will have that comfort there. And also too, I will mention that when you talk about traction, the traction isn't like terrible, but you also feel these beads up under the foot on the sole, so under the sole, so when you are walking. So as far as traction go on this, probably not the best as far as like crossing over and whatever. I think out of the whole sneakers that I'm about to show you guys, the Presto and the Nike Air Footscape actually has, you can probably find the Footscape on like eBay, but the Footscape and the Presto probably will have the best traction if you get down like that and damn near cross over a person trying to scare you. So yep, the beads. And last but not least, my number 1 is the Ultra Boost. The traction on here is probably not the best. You just look at the traction like that. But one of the things that I do like about the sneaker as well, just as far as Haunted House reasons, you do have breathability just like the Nike Air Presto. So Adidas did hit it out the park with the breathability. Now the prime knit is a little bit more thicker than just the mesh of the Presto. Now with this as well, with the Presto, you also got some different Prestos that have just like nylon. So not all of them have mesh, but You know, you could check that out when you look them up or try to find them. But you do have like the prime knit on here. That's a little bit more thick fabric, thicker weave, but it's also very flexible, and it's a little bit more breathable. Now with this sneaker, it's not necessarily a running sneaker, even though it looks like it. This is more so like a lifestyle sneaker, and hence I didn't have any lifestyle sneakers. There's no way you can run in a Nike Air Max 270. I was gonna bring back some of the retros, like maybe like a Nike Air Max 95, maybe a Nike Air Max 97. But realistically, when you're doing cuts and you're just trying to get away, you know, you can in those sneakers. But I want to go for comfort as well. Like when you're standing for a long time. And those vary depending on your foot size and comfort level and all that stuff. Like some people can't stand in the Air Max 95 as long as they can probably stand in maybe like an Ultra Boost or something like that. Some people can like literally just walk throughout the whole day. I can in these. I can just like take a whole week with an Ultra Boost and just damn near forget about to even wear my other sneakers. Same thing with the Footscapes too, because it's just like so flexible. It almost feel like you don't have anything on. So, you know, but back into this, just to round this off. This right here, the prime knit actually is flexible. I like that. I do like the fact that this boost is right here. You do have like that spongy feel. If you haven't got a pair of boosts yet, go get some boosts, man. I like even the Nike boost. And the reason why I wouldn't take the Nike boost to the Hunted House, but the Nike boost is not necessarily a running sneaker really. Now this is not a running sneaker neither, but I would run in this before I run in a Nike boost. The Nike boost is a little bit more loose. And this is a little bit more of a tight fit for you, or more snug fit rather. As far as size, I'd just say just go try them on. I wear a size 10, but I wear a size 10 to a size 9.5, but I did get a size 9 with this. And that's because I got a slim foot and I like a snug fit personally. So just to round all this off, and let me just recap and go through all my whole list again. Number 7 was the Converse. And I like it for its canvas properties. Very lightweight. It's an old school sneaker, very cheap. You can go find this damn near anywhere. The comfort on it will just be good for that night. Standing wise, they improved it a little bit better, so you shouldn't have too much of a bad time standing in line, but your foot can possibly heat up in the Converse. With these, the Vans, same thing in a way, but the comfort is a little bit better on here. Now you don't have as much, well, you do got flexibility, but you don't have the most flexibility like you do in the sneakers coming up. But this would actually do. The sole is pretty decent. The insole, heat might build up a little bit, but this is still good. This is good if you're standing in line too. Same thing with this. We're just dealing with a hot top version. If you more of an accident ankle prone person, you probably want to go more so with like the hot top. Now this is a canvas version with a leather interior. They also got leather versions as well, but I prefer to keep light materials when doing active things like that. So like you know, running through the house or whatever, the Hunted House. So just keep like a light canvas. Then we got the Presto with the mesh, very lightweight. That's my number 4. My number 3 is the Nike Air Footscape, very light. Materials very light. I actually might wear this for the Hunted House myself, depending on how many times we go. This one, it's the Element 55. Again, you could do the Element 87, but I just want to bring attention to the React technology. Definitely something that Nike is nice with, and that I feel like is revolutionary. So you shouldn't have a hard time standing in line with this. You know, feel like you bouncing on like a bed or something like that, like a spongy bed. Same thing with this, but just a little bit more smoother, a little bit more comfortable. But Nike is definitely on Adidas heels though with this React technology. With this, you can stand in this, but you know, you won't necessarily break anything or get tired as quick as you would standing in maybe like a Chuck for a long time in line. But it shouldn't be too bad as far as the Chucks go, because again, they beefed up the interior when they're in recent years to me. But last but not least, this is like the perfect sneaker to me, my number 1 personally. And as far as a lot of standing and walking, this is usually my number 1. So that's my top 7 for the 100 house, my top 7 kicks, right